DJ's doing jazz hands. There you go. Walter's doing jazz hands. I'm doing jazz hands. We are live. I hope you got your big girl panties on. Walter's got the belt fed, getting
belt fed panties on tonight.
Lined up. Oh yeah. We like those. Obviously, there goes DJ from Aries Firearms Training. He's in the house.
Hi.
So what's going on, guys? This is episode 309 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. Tonight we're asking the question, is the Supreme Court 2A? We'll find out. We'll talk about some stuff. We're going to find out about them here. Who knows? We might be getting a new Supreme Court justice here sometime in the future. Also, in the second hour, we're going to have Rally for Our Rights Colorado joining us here live on the show. So get ready for that. It's Friday. Oh, look at that. DJ all of a sudden just grew up.
Got old.
Yeah, he got old. He's going to go from cute to this. Boom. Yeah. So, of course, we've got Trey from Aries Firearms Training here, as well as Walter from Safety Harbor Firearms.
The belt's getting bigger. The belt's getting bigger.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Walter's going to be doing work, multitasking.
I got news for you. I got news for you, Hank. Tomorrow, this is 100 rounds I'm shooting. Everybody else is on their own linking their ammo. So.
Oh, I got to link my own ammo?
That's right, Holmes. You got to link your own.
I got to bleed my own blood.
No, you ain't going to bleed my blood.
No one makes me bleed my own blood.
Yeah, nobody makes me bleed my own blood. If anyone knows what that reference is from, let us know. So, like I said, it's Friday. We're going to be talking with these guys.
Dodgeball.
Yeah, absolutely. Dodgeball. Yes, you got it right. We're also going to have the Colorado branch of Rally for Your Rights. Those guys are coming in the second half hour. We're going to talk about Second Amendment stuff going on. I shout out to Gunstreamer. I see Gunstreamer here in the chat. The folks from Gunstreamer are here. By the way, I think it's next week, Tuesday. The Gunstreamer guys are going to be here on the show.
Big announcement coming up. Big announcement. Yep. I don't even know what it is, but I'm promoting it. Big announcement coming up. Yes,
there is a big announcement coming up. They're going to be here. We're going to be doing the show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we're going to take a break to go out to SHOT Show. So, if you're not signed up for Gunstreamer already, get signed up now. What is that? What are we hearing in the background there? I have no idea. Okay, so let's see. That's what's going on here. I'm going to try to shout out everyone in the chat right now. Please, guys, smash the thumbs ups, okay? We still need the thumbs to be smashed. Get the thumbs ups going. If you're not subscribed to us, hit that subscribe button. Also, while you're over there, ring the bell. That's how you get notified. Yes, that's what we're doing here. And if you're watching this later when these shows come up, comment and all that kind of good stuff. When we're doing the stream, the comments will be there, but it's also good for people to comment later on if you come in later and catch it and all of that. We appreciate that stuff. So please do that. I see SoCal Gunner, Richard Hughes is here, Jade Brew, Michael Bender. Let's see, who else do I see? Vanessa Kitty, Roland Alexander, also.
Rolando.
Yeah, let's see what happened. Yeah, let's see who else we have going on here. Psycho 316 is joining us already as well. Armament and Axes, Rob Avis, Jafari H also here. Let's see, I Edit My Sub MOA AK joining us as well. Imposter is here as well. Walter's playing with some kind of knife in my peripheral vision.
Some kind of knife? It's your kind of knife.
Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a second.
Oh, dear.
Oh, somebody's cracking up.
Sounds like a helicopter landing.
Yeah, no, it ain't no helicopter. You don't want that thing landing on you.
Cracking up the stun gun. Let's see who else here. Flopping Garbage also here. DCG 44s. Let's see who else. Lewis 1911. Kathleen Music Lover is joining us as well. CB's here. STL Storm Spotter. Larry and Candace. What's up?
He's saying hi to
Can I show you my shirt?
Yeah, what's on your shirt, DJ? Let's see. Hold on. Let me lock it on you. Let's see what's on your shirt. Ooh, Jurassic Park.
We'll move over a little bit. Just move over a little bit.
Looks like Jurassic Park, but something's blocking it. What's?
Here, get it. Here.
It's Jurassic. What is the other thing blocking the Jurassic Park?
Oh, what is it?
Dinosaur.
It's a
A T-Rex. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard that you cause more damage than a T-Rex, DJ.
Is that true?
That's what I've heard. And your arms are also longer. Your arms are longer. Yeah, this is T-Rex arms right here. Okay, Larry and Candace are joining us. Gun streamers, I said. Big Cliff is here. Richard Portella, DC2 Mega Boost, also joining us. Looks like we've got the Colorado guys coming in, but we'll let them come in here and get set up. Rafael Morales, Turbo 99 Miata, David B. Kills, Robert McRae here as well. Scamp 900, Bricks is here. American Gun Chick says, "Hey everyone." And let's see, American Gun Chick is in here as well. Let's see who else. James Miller. American Gun Chick should have come on the show since she Walter, you were starring in American Gun Chick's video.
Well, you too.
Oh,
Yeah,
you guys are big time now.
Yeah, and baby,
everybody can hate us equally then.
Yeah.
Not all of us can be big famous movie stars.
Yeah. Jason, okay, so we've got Jason coming in. I'm gonna mute you guys for a second, Jason, just so because I know you guys are getting set up. Okay, so yeah, Steven Zumwalt, shout out to everyone. So yeah, we were all starring. Babyface was in there.
Yeah,
he was very shocked to find himself in a music video.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about this, Walter?
No, I was watching. I was thinking, hey, wait a minute, there I am.
Yeah. Did you catch this video, Trey?
Which one? I'm sorry, the Walter one?
No, American Gun Chick.
No, I did not catch it. But I'll go check it out after we get done.
Yeah.
My computer's down, so I can't respond to anybody. So if you ask me a question, I don't respond. Don't be offended.
Oh no, that's okay. American Gun Chick says she wanted to come on and premiere the video with us. You're welcome to come on anytime. That's fine by us. We got zero issues with that. You're also welcome to come on and just talk to us about the video. So Jason, I see that you're getting set up. Still loud. Okay. Are you guys set up there in the background, Jason?
I'm pretty much set up at the moment.
Okay, cool. All right. So
I think we're just waiting for Leslie.
Okay, cool. All right. Do you know how to mute and unmute in case you have to?
Let me see here.
Doing here? Yeah.
Can I show you something?
Sure. What do you want to show me?
This is from Bastinelli.
From where?
Bastinelli makes knives.
Oh, Bastinelli.
He gave a training knife.
Yeah, that's literally a sword in your hands, DJ.
That thing's bigger than you, DJ.
I can't see. You got a whole. Oh, there we go. All right, there we go.
Oh,
yeah.
Careful with that thing.
Yeah,
Careful.
yeah. I like how you pull that out of that sheath with authority. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
Get that from Bastinelli.
Very cool. Okay, so listen, let's I don't know, let's just quickly touch on the music video. I don't know who saw it out there. I think a couple of people saw it out there. I don't know what you guys thought of it. I thought it was cool.
I thought it was kind of yeah.
I've got no issues in there, you know. I mean,
we're on good terms with a
yeah. I've got no problem with anyone being in the gun world. I think the gun world is for everyone. I keep telling people that. It's for anyone and everyone. You just
have a gun.
Exactly. You included, DJ. You just have to believe in the Second Amendment. That's all that matters when it comes to that. So, and I'm pretty sure that Brickell believes in the Second Amendment. So, yeah, I thought it was a good video.
So. I would hope so.
So I introduced us to the world of machine guns. Come on, man.
Yeah, I think. I mean, like, you know, they should have asked me to direct that video though. Because, you know, I mean, I think I could have added some good points to it. Like when Brickell was like floating around on that little pink flamingo, I would have had Jaws come up and pull her down under the water.
Yeah, up like on 1941, the periscope come up right beside her.
Yeah, you just see her rapping, and then all of a sudden Jaws pull her down, and then you just see blood Yeah.
That shark blood, though, not cow blood. Yeah.
Just some blonde hair floats back up to the top. No, but anyway, it was cool. It was cool. So
no, I got a laugh out of it. I did.
Psycho 316 said I would have added too many bullpups. Yeah. I don't know if she's into bullpups or not. I don't know.
A bullpup.
Yeah. I think bullpups are sexy, you know.
They are cool.
You cannot go wrong in a video. The only bullpup that's a bad bullpup is a pink bullpup.
Oh well, then or a bedazzled bullpup.
Oh, that's a travesty. That's a travesty. So, okay, so let's see. So there you go.
It's getting bigger.
She was dual wielding though, so that's a good thing. That's what she says. She had two guns. She was dual wielding. So there you go. Also, I would have gotten some backup dancers in there. Yeah, a little something for the ladies. You could have gotten some Chippendale style backup dancer dudes.
And old school music videos. You got.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we have some gun bunny dudes out there. To be honest with you, I think like Demolition Ranch. He's a gun bunny.
Man, you got a thing for him, don't you?
Yeah, I think he's a gun bunny. He's cute. Yeah.
Oh dear.
That's all that matters.
He's a male gun bunny. How do you like that?
That's what I kind of said when that whole subject came up about the girls and stuff. It's like, yeah, well, there's guys that do the same thing with the old tactical and the beard.
Oh, yes, there are.
Yeah. I'm an operator, even though I'm not. That kind of thing.
Or listen, everyone has something. If you have something, you kind of like you accentuate whatever you have, right?
Or don't go busting on everybody else because it's something you don't like.
I think it's in human nature to accentuate whatever you have. So if you're a guy and you've got a lot of badass guns, nothing wrong with showing that. If you have like a bodacious beard, nothing wrong with showing that. You get a big schlong,
Well, that's porno, you do.
Yeah. Yeah. My one of my sons does that to all the rest of us to remind us that his schlong is mightier than the rest of us. Whatever it is that he calls that. So listen, whatever you have in life, you should be totally happy and free to show it off.
Express oneself.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm going to express myself tomorrow with this belt of ammunition. That's fun.
Yeah. See, like Walter does it. Walter's a gun bunny. Walter's always showing off to us how he has machine guns and we don't have machine guns. Look at him.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No. You have machine guns. You just don't have them right now.
Yeah.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I have Walter's machine guns.
Yeah.
That is the most affordable.
You can shoot my machine guns if you want, Hank. I don't mind.
What is it they say like about boats, right? You know what's the best kind of boat?
Somebody else's you ride in.
Yeah, somebody else's boat. I'm always working on my machine gun, trust me.
Yeah,
it's an ongoing process.
Yeah, other people's machine guns. I should do a series of videos called Other People's.
Yeah, I got plenty of them that will change for your video too, trust me.
Yeah, absolutely. So okay, Jason, I know you're out there. I don't know. You're still waiting for someone, right?
Yeah, we're still waiting for Leslie. She didn't get the link. I just forwarded it over to her.
Oh, okay, cool. Did you want to jump in here and introduce yourself? In the meanwhile, you're here. Might as well tell everyone out there who you are. Welcome to the show, by the way.
Thanks, Hank. I'm honored to be on tonight. Thanks for having me. I'm Jason Barnauls. I'm here from Rally for Our Rights. We're here to talk about what we're doing in Colorado here to protect our Second Amendment rights and what we can do to help protect our rights, not just in the state of Colorado, but all over the country, given what's going on lately.
Okay, very cool, very cool. And the organization that you're with, what's it called again?
It's Rally for Our Rights.
Okay.
And you can find us at rallyforourrights.com, and we're also on Facebook as well.
Okay, very cool. So up here I don't know if you've done some of these live broadcasts before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So up here in the chat, if you put any links up there that you want to share, I'll put them in the chat or whatever. So people can go to rallyforourrights.com. They can also go. You've got a Facebook page.
Yep. Yeah, we're on. You can find us on Facebook. We're listed under Rally for Our Rights as well.
Okay. All right, let me see here if I could pull. I'm going to pull the rallyfromtherights.com here and throw it in for the guys. And I know we have some people that join us here from Colorado. So, are there any particular things going on right now?
Well, right now we're looking at a potential red flag bill here in Denver at the moment. We just had in the November elections, the state flipped, so we kind of have a perfect storm brewing with a anti-gun governor, anti-gun attorney general, and anti-gun House and anti-gun Senate.
Okay.
So it's kind of a perfect storm brewing, and we're looking to do everything we can to prevent it from happening here.
Okay. I mean, it seems like, correct me if I'm wrong here, it seems like Colorado's kind of been going in that direction. Well,
it has.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Walter, you're saying blame California? Okay.
Yeah, it's California.
California.
Dude.
Yes.
Dude. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Up until recently, we're a good, center for freedom. I mean, you could own whatever gun you wanted with whatever magazine. We had legal weed. It was a pretty libertarian state up until recently here.
Yeah. So we've got like Turbo 99 Miatas from Colorado. By the way, anyone in the chat that's from Colorado, shout it out right now. Turbo 99 Miata, he's from Colorado. Killer Ratchet says, I hear many people in Colorado don't comply with the magazine ban. Is that true?
A lot of people don't. I know I don't. I have quite a few magazines that were both grandfathered and some new.
Yeah. Okay.
And Leslie also wanted me to mention here that, people can also find us on Twitter and Instagram as well.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, she'll be on closer to 6. 6 my time, 8 o'clock your time here, so shortly.
Yeah. Gunstreamer says their lead developer is in Colorado, and they're out of Utah. I don't know if you guys are aware of Gunstreamer. Do you have, are you on YouTube, or do you guys make videos?
Yes. We're on YouTube. We just put out a video today. It's kind of a video about who we are and what we do. Okay.
I'd encourage you to get signed up with Gunstreamer if you haven't already heard of them.
Well, we'll certainly look into it. I'll write it down right now.
Yeah. It's a platform. It's a content platform. It's a lot like YouTube, maybe just a few steps behind YouTube, but they're obviously pro-gun guys. And when you sign up with them, you can have them pull your library over from YouTube. So if you've got a bunch of videos over there, you can have them pull it over. But, if YouTube goes down or does things to you guys, then you've got a backup somewhere, as well as they're working on other things. I think ultimately here at some point we have to start supporting our own platforms instead of just waiting around until people pull the plug on us.
Yeah, that's happening more and more here, especially with YouTube.
Yes, absolutely. And I think the Gunstreamer guys, there's other folks out there doing it as well. I think the Gunstreamer guys are doing a good job of that. And like I said in the beginning, next Tuesday, they're going to have an announcement to share with you guys of something they've been working on. So,
okay, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be a good thing for the content side. What we need is people to start putting, obviously, when you put your stuff up on YouTube and you set everything up, it can automatically pull over to Gunstreamer and your content will be there. But we need to start growing the traffic and the audience and stuff like that over at Gunstreamer. People need some motivations for that. So hopefully that and other things that they're working on, help make that happen. So,
well, we'll definitely look into it.
Yeah. So any other things you wanted to add here before you get into the mix of the conversation? I don't know if you've seen the show, but we get pretty rowdy here, especially on Fridays. Walter's loading up. Okay, so that's mine, right, Walter? I call dibs.
I converted this to this.
We get pretty rowdy here, especially on Fridays. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Well, you're going to learn how to link ammo, Hank Strange.
Hey, you got a single linker, or you got like the big multi one?
Right now, for this 223, I got the finger linker.
Oh, the finger linker. Oh, yeah, that's the fun linker.
For 50 cal, I got a linker, like a,
Yeah. Walter, where's your headset? And are you the one that I'm getting that feedback from?
I don't know, but I'll stick it on here in a second. So
yeah, stick it on, Walter.
Stick it on, baby.
Stick it on.
Before somebody else does.
I'm going to go wash my paws here because I get a little fugly.
You should lick them off. Lick them clean.
Oh, geez, Pete's. No way, man. This is like dirt.
This makes the grass grow.
The links I'm using, I bought are used, and they came. I bought them when I first ordered the Shrike, and who knows where the hell they came from? So
Vietnam, they're that old.
Yeah.
You know what else you've been all up in.
I'll be back.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay. So awesome. I want to remind everyone out there, you know, like make sure you thumbs up, as well as the people sitting here on the panel. You know, we got to hit those thumbs ups as well. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go. Yeah, we got to put our own thumbs up our own show podcast. That's what we got to do. So make sure that we go out there and do that. Trey, did you want to ask Jason any questions?
Not yet. I'll let it roll.
Okay. What else?
We're talking about Gunstreamer a little bit, and I'm very interested in that. I'm going to get on it too, probably tonight, and get some content, start going through there, because I'm really tired of supporting these guys that really don't care about us in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just getting our content started here. So, I mean, as an organization, we're only about 10 months old now.
Yeah.
So, because we got started in April of 18 during the, when Boulder first rolled out its assault weapons ban.
Okay. So why did you guys get started? Kind of give us a background on you. What do you do other than obviously getting out there and fighting for 2A rights? What are you up to?
Well, actually, I actually work in the automotive industry, but I've always been a big pro 2A fan. I like to build my own guns. And when Boulder announced that they were going to roll out an assault weapons ban in response to some of the recent shootings that had happened in 2018, I kind of didn't understand it, because Boulder doesn't really have a whole lot of crime to speak of. I think in 2017 we had one person killed with a handgun, but no real firearms crime to speak of other than that. So they kind of rolled it out and kind of steamrolled everyone there, and Leslie founded Rally from the same time. So she did it in response to March for Our Lives. She noticed people, getting out to the streets to march to take away people's rights. So she wanted to start something that would get people out in the streets to support preserving people's rights. And her and I met over when I was trying to put something together to protest what Boulder was doing. And we've been holding rallies and events and building Rally for Our Rights ever since.
Okay, very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, and also it looks cold over there, man.
It is.
Yeah.
It was nice yesterday. It was 60 degrees yesterday. It's like 30 degrees and snowing today.
Where are you at again? What part?
Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, you are in Boulder. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I'm talking to you guys straight from under the tofu curtain here.
Oh, I flew into Denver. I flew my plane into Denver in April, and it was still snow in the mountains. It gets cold up there.
Yeah.
Well, we keep snow here, all the way till June, July up in the hills there about 1,000 feet. Yeah, it's
gorgeous.
Year round.
I went to I've been to Boulder, but I was in Colorado Springs and of course Denver, and then I went up into Loveland Pass area. It's so gorgeous up there.
It is. We're really lucky to live here.
Yeah, I think I've spent a little bit of time traveling around the country. I haven't seen everywhere, but America is really beautiful, and I did like Colorado, man. I think Colorado was awesome. So I would want to be there in the summertime, though, personally.
Oh,
yeah.
That's just me. So you know what? Here's one of the things. I think that what you guys are facing there is what we're facing all over the country when it comes to the Second Amendment. I know someone sent me this from the Free Maine National Builder. I put this link up. It's in the chat if you guys want to see it. And I shared it with everyone here. Emails emerge showing, that's the headline, emails emerge showing senior Democrat lawmakers calling to ban hunting rifles.
Well, what do you expect?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, they can't figure out why something's still happening, but they got rid of everything.
And where is this happening? Where is this coming out?
In Maine, from Maine.
No, you wouldn't expect it out of Maine.
Oh, no.
I expect it everywhere now.
Yeah, they're pushed again.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, what's going to happen is exactly what happened last time when they passed the Beatty bill. They all got booted.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was already done. The damage was done when they got
and
I know. No, I don't disagree with you, Walter. But they got slammed pretty hard.
Oh yeah, they got thrown out.
Yeah. I encourage you guys to read this, to check out this email that's out there. I think there's lots of this going on all over the country. And one of the things is that there's a lot of people out there. We talk about this all the time, what we call the FUDs. A lot of people think like, oh, there's, you know, I don't care about bump stocks. I don't care about this thing. I don't care about that thing. You know, I just hunt or whatever it is. And you think they're not coming for what you have. These guys are coming for everything. And they're going to take it all apart in pieces.
See, one of the key things out here that we're very lucky about is that the state Senate is controlled by Democrats by only 3 votes. So, you know, we have a chance of fighting some of this if we can get 3 pro-gun Democrats to
pressure.
Yep.
And that's the thing is out here, you know, Colorado's moving more and more blue. So we got to focus on, you know, supporting moderate pro-2A Democrats here because it's getting harder to elect some of the Republican candidates, especially here in Boulder. We got 6 out of 9 seats up for grabs here in November in the city council, and you'll never get a Republican elected here. But if you get a moderate pro-2A Democrat, you know, you have a chance of fending it off here.
Hunting's big business in Colorado.
Hank, can I say something real quick?
Absolutely.
Killer Ratchet, you made a comment. I was dealing with the concealed weapons, gun stuff, and weed cards in the state of Florida. The state does not acknowledge gun rights with weed rights. You can have weed card and a gun concealed carry permit and still purchase firearms as of right now. Now, the drugs are regulated by the federal government, so technically the federal government can come in and arrest anybody for drug criminal crimes, even though the state recognizes it as not being illegal or as being legal.
Yeah,
so you can still have your weed card and a concealed weapons permit. That is actually a fact. I actually called the Department of Agriculture and talked to the attorney. He said that, or they said that it was illegal to have, if you got a weed card, you had to surrender your gun rights. That is not correct in the state of Florida. I can't speak for Colorado and California because obviously I'm not there. But in Florida, you can have a marijuana card and you can have a concealed weapons permit. It is not illegal as of now. That doesn't mean it won't change in the future, though.
Yeah. So I think what Killer Ratchet said was weed should be decriminalized anyway. Legalization ain't the way to go. Since you apply for a weed card, you surrender the right to own a gun. So that's what you're responding to.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, there's kind of this weird like limbo floating around out there that
the 4473 still asked you.
Yeah.
Well, here in Colorado, the Colorado Bureau of Investigations, that you know they run the 4473s out here. They said that they would not approve any background checks for anyone that was on the medical marijuana registry.
Yeah, that's why I said Florida. I didn't know anything about the other states. I know about Florida.
Now, the thing is, the state said they wouldn't share any of this information. So I don't know how Steve and I would get it.
Well, what happened was the lady that ran one of the big weed distributors in Florida, she took my concealed weapons class and asked me that question. I said, you know, I've heard rumors, but I've never confirmed everything. So I started doing research. And I called the Department of Ag, which issues our permits, and I talked with their main attorney, and he clarified it. No, it is not a problem as of now. He said that as right now. So that doesn't mean that it won't change in the future, but as of right now, it's not an issue.
Yeah. Ultimately, here's the weird thing about laws, right? When they put laws into effect, what really matters is whether or not they decide to prosecute people using those laws. So that's the thing that happens. We have a bunch of laws that are in effect here in Florida that are pretty horrible, in my opinion, when it comes to guns. But, you know, someone has to choose to start prosecuting people, you know, using those laws. And it seems like, oh, maybe they won't do that now. But if things swing in the right direction and you have the wrong people that are in power and in those positions to make those decisions, they could start prosecuting. And so you have all of these things that are up in the air, right? So that's definitely something I think that should be dealt with at some point. But there's lots of things that should be dealt with, you know, and who knows what will happen to that. You can look just looking at what's going on right
today or yesterday.
What happened to him? Oh, okay, so we lost him. It looks like he pressed the wrong button there.
He started to talk about Ginsburg, and they flashed him out. knock them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing that I think, when with all these rules in place, what we have to do is sort it all out. But what I was going to say, and we'll probably get him back in. He'll join here in a second.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is that we need to. Oh, looks like he's coming back in. I'm gonna.
There we go. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah. What were you going to say? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying. I heard yesterday, that there was some legislation introduced there in Florida to kind of roll some of that back.
Yes. Yeah, people are trying to roll back those laws. I think that's a good thing. We should roll them back. I don't know whether or not that's going to happen. We're in a really weird space right now, right? Everything is in a really weird space. To me, I think this is the moment that people in America should wake up right now. People should activate. They should pay attention to what's going on. You said earlier that Colorado is getting more blue. I don't think it's actually getting more blue. Obviously, people are moving in. I think the red side or the Second Amendment people or the Constitution people have just fallen asleep.
Well, there was quite a few people that did not vote here in November. And there's also, kind of a push right now to put together a electoral college on the state level, because Colorado is pretty much governed by Boulder, Denver, and Fort Collins, and
that's where all the libs live. Yeah,
exactly. And the rest of the state is a lot more red. Yeah, but those really populated centers are deciding everything for this state.
Well, look at Illinois.
Look at Florida.
Yeah.
Florida, we have the panhandle still. That's the wild card in Florida.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, Illinois, the poor people in Illinois, man, they're getting, I guess the cabinet people or something just voted themselves a raise, and it's like.
They can vote me a raise too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Hank is right here on this one, though, because gun owners are just too quiet. They're always in the background. They don't want to, they just want to be left alone, live
or
their
they
lives.
think that it will never happen.
What's that?
They're too complacent. They think that, it won't happen. Yes, it will.
It is.
It is happening.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing, is gun owners have to stop being so complacent and quiet, and they need to get out and make their voices heard. When Boulder did its assault weapons ban, we went to the city council meeting and 80 people spoke out against the ban and only 30 people spoken for it. And it still passed unanimously. And one of the reasons I found out was that people were writing letters to the city council at a rate of 1,000 to 1 for this ban. And gun owners were just not getting active. They weren't making their voices heard at all. And the city council here only heard the anti-gunners, and we got a full assault weapons ban.
Well, what you need to do in Colorado, like they do in Florida, you got to pull that ability away from the cities and make it a statewide thing. Because in Florida, the cities can't make gun law.
See,
that is correct.
We have a preemption like that here in the state too, that says that gun laws are only to be decided by the state and not localities. But Boulder also has an oddball situation where it's a home rule town, which means the city of Boulder existed before the state of Colorado, so they get legally a lot of leeway in municipal law. So that's one of the things. One of the lawsuits is arguing right now is that state preemption says that what Boulder did is not okay.
You ever heard of the Second Amendment? That's why, so you're gonna some city council jack off that got elected because of whatever is gonna tell me I can't have a gun, basically, that I want. When does it come down where you can't have a hunting rifle?
Well, see, that's the thing, is people are going to have to put their foot down.
Yeah, that's what
they're going to have to. I hate to say it, they're going to have to rise up and physically rise up, not just write letters, because letters are cool, but guess what? When all hell breaks loose, that's a little more impressive.
Yeah.
Ask the Bundy Ranch people.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just heard about that all got thrown out, but you don't hear about it anywhere except on the internet. It's like the government was playing games and holding evidence back and all this stuff, and the judge threw the whole thing out. And it's like, yeah, well, finally. You know.
Well, a third of this country is gun owners. You know, we got 100 million gun owners in this country, and
Yeah.
they all like to be nice and quiet.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I think that there's a whole bunch of things that we have to sort out, right? That's kind of what's going on here. We have to sort out things and make things clearly defined. The problem is we don't have that. We're not getting that. And it does seem like it's going to get to a point where things just have to bubble over and go really bad for everyone to say, oh, maybe we need to
listen,
sit down. Yeah, maybe we need to sit down.
Maybe we not need to
yeah. It's a lot like the border situation. We have a tough time changing things, dealing with things, or sorting things out in this country. That's what's going on right now with the shutdown, the border situation. You know, they don't really want to sit down and deal with this thing. So everyone's going to their sides. No one wants to sort it all out. It can be sorted out.
Well, with the, you know, you're pressing the border, all you got to do is ask the people that work at the border, and the answer is there. There's no need to sort anything out.
No, I'm not saying
they don't want to hear that.
Yeah,
it works.
That's the
when
problem.
you talk to people that work there, they say it works.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Yeah, I saw you're talking about like Trump going to the border, talking to
the people that have
the border
to deal with
agents and stuff like that, seizing drugs and all that. Yeah. That's obvious. What I'm saying is the immigration situation in America and what's going on cannot be sorted out because people don't want to sit down and sort it out. And there's people, you know, there's people out there that aren't saying, hey, deal with this thing. Let's deal with this finally in America and sit down and sort it out. It's the same thing with the Second Amendment. And I think that's kind of something that gets pushed off. But at some point, we either have the Second Amendment or we don't. And if they want to come out and say that we don't have the Second Amendment, yeah, I think that's the point where people actually go like, what? We don't have this thing? And then maybe people will wake up and realize that they have to start fighting for it if we don't have it. Because if you don't have it, if you've totally lost it already and you just don't know about it, you need to get notified. But if we have it, there's a lot of crap that goes on in cities and states around the country that should not be happening, should not be going on.
Well, and that's my goal, and that's the goal of Rally for Our Rights, is to prevent it from ever getting to that point. You know, we can't just let it get to the point where it's so bad that people are forced to rise up. I think we're at that point now, not violently. I mean, I would hate to see America turned into Syria. You know, I think we can get there without getting to that point ever.
That's a long boat ride to England.
So
we already been that boat ride.
Yeah. What do you think, Jason, that could be done to wake people up? What are you guys trying to do? What do you think could be done?
I think the biggest thing is engaging gun owners and encouraging them to take initiative and get out. I think a lot of people they feel like other people are going to fight for their rights for them. You know, I voted for so and so. He's gonna take care of that for me. I donated money to XX organization, and they're going to take care of it.
Yeah, so, those guys on YouTube are going to save me.
Yeah, exactly. And gun owners say a lot. You know, online. You know, they'll say whatever. You know, shall not be infringed. Come and take it. You know, with all this big talk. But then when it comes time to actually get active in a proactive manner and get out and engage with the people that are actually going to be writing these laws, they're nowhere to be found. And I think that's where the gun community needs to do. They need to push people to get out of their house, get in touch with other gun owners, make connections. And
where do we do that? How do we do that?
Well, you know, like I always tell people,
there is a way to do it, but I'm curious what you think.
Well, I think, you know, the first step would be to join Rally for Our Rights. If you live in Colorado, that'd be a big first step to stay informed.
Where do you find all these people at?
Well, the way a lot of them found us when we put on these rallies, people started to hear about us. We were out in the street protesting what they were doing, and the media came and spoke to us and asked who we were, and that's really where we got a lot of reach. There was through you know, non-gun channels, through our local media,
gun ranges. That's where I was going with the gun ranges. How many gun ranges do you have in Boulder?
One.
Yeah. Remember we talked about this, Hank. They don't have to take your guns. If you have nowhere to shoot, it doesn't matter anyways.
And we have.
And they are they are pushing out gun ranges. Me as a gun range can tell you for a fact they will try to push you out.
Well, Boulder's trying to do that because the Boulder Rifle Club is on county land. But right now, Boulder keeps expanding its city limits. And right now, the city limits are running right through the parking lot of the Boulder Rifle Club. And as soon as they get absorbed into the city, I can see them getting shut down.
Okay. Okay. So what are you trying to say with that, Trey? I'm like curious of what you're trying to say.
Y'all need to fight for these gun ranges.
Okay.
I got lucky. I had people fight for me. But a lot of these gun ranges don't get fought for, or they pass ordinances that are out of realism for noise and abatement for these gun ranges, so they can't operate in the first place.
Right. So you're saying that people try to do that recently with Aries, try to shut you guys down.
Well, not shut me down, but make it complicated. They said all sorts of stuff, and I had to step up. You know, we stepped to the plate and handled it. But it's an ongoing attack. I'm attacked a lot. You know, as a gun range, I'm the big dog. I'm out in the open. And the funny part is everybody around me shoots in their private land. But where does the guy that lives in the city shoot? He doesn't. He comes to a range. But what if he doesn't know anybody that doesn't have their own personal range? He becomes a non-gun owner because he doesn't have a gun anymore because he doesn't shoot anymore.
Yeah.
Ranges, they're trying to push us out. And I can tell you that
that's a choke point.
Fact.
Yeah, that's a choke point. I think there's lots of places that they could choke off things, and if you don't have access,
there is no gun range association.
Yeah, someone's asking if there's a gun range association.
I want to start one eventually. But
we got a double-edged
it's only
sword.
amongst gun owners, so we can all support our gun range owners, so we can support ourselves.
Yeah.
But you guys just sit back and let it happen.
I'm actually,
and I don't mean it in a bad way, but we get overlooked. And really, if you have nowhere to shoot, what does it matter?
Okay, go ahead, Jason. You're trying to get something.
I'm sorry, but it segues right because I'm actually against putting in a gun range here in Colorado in Lyons. They want to put in a public range, not a private one, but a public one. But the Forest Service here says as soon as that range is built, they'll be shutting down about 80 to 90% of Boulder County public land to target shooting.
Okay.
So it's, you know, what do you do there? Because they build a public range where everyone can just do static shooting from a bench or, you know, with their pistol and whatever. But all the
at 50 yards
is gone. Yeah. You can't do shoot and move. You can't do anything dynamic like we love to do on our public land. All of that's gone. So which one do you choose? Do you choose the public land or do you allow a new shooting range to come in?
Yeah. I think these are points that people are going after, and there's lots of different points that they're going after. I think that the gun ranges, you're not the only one around the country. I'm sure, Trey, if you look into it, you'll find there's other places around the country going through that. I think that there's probably gun stores and other points that are feeling this attack, or these things are happening.
They're just as much of a problem as the anti-gunners are.
Okay, why do you say that?
Go to a gun range. Okay, go to an indoor gun range. And I mean, everybody here has been to one. You go in there, and they're rude, and they're obnoxious. You can't do this, you can't do that. And I understand you have to have rules, but there's a point where the rules are excessive, and they turn normal people off like, hey, I want to learn how to shoot. Oh, you're an idiot. And I've seen this before because I actually do this. I go in the gun store like a moron, and I ask all these dumb questions. And I get sent to the counter and I get jerked around, and then they don't take care of me. We're a customer service based industry. So if Walter shows up at the range and goes, hey, I've never shot before and I'm interested in shooting. My first response is, okay, I recommend you take a safety class and concealed weapons permit. And then we teach you all safety, and then we go from there. I'm very helpful. Why? Because I want to be helpful. I want to draw him in. If I turn him off to it, what did I just create? I create another anti-gunner because you're like, screw them guys. That guy's a jerk. I'm not doing that.
Right, because you're the first point of contact. You're like the ambassadors to the news.
That's not how it is. I go to these ranges. I've been verbally abused at ranges, like just downright nasty. And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. You can't talk to me that way, And we are the first line when somebody meets. When somebody gets into guns, they get into guns at a gun store or a range. And that's how they learn how to shoot.
Yeah.
And these places are out of control. And they, I hate going to indoor gun ranges because they're rude. You're an idiot because you don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm an idiot because I don't know what I'm talking about at all. Help me out. That's not how they look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that creates a taboo against gun guys when people see that, right? They're like, oh, these guys are like what the media is trying to tell me. Yeah.
I have people drive from 4 hours away to come to my range.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because I'm better than other ranges. It's because they can come there and they're like family.
Okay.
And we treat them like family.
Right. Now I think Leslie, you've joined us.
I have.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're jumping right into the middle of it here.
I've been watching. I've got little girls, and I had to get one out to a friend's house, and a friend came over.
Okay, understood.
Doing the family thing.
Yes, lots of us doing that.
Family and firearms, right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, welcome to the show. Do you want to introduce yourself to everyone? Tell folks out there who you are, what you're associated with, how you got into it.
Sure. So I'm Leslie Hollywood, and I work with Jason Boros. So I know he already introduced himself and everything.
Jason right there.
So I am actually the founder of Rally for Our Rights, and as Jason already said, we got started back in April of last year. So we're going on like 9-10 months of being kind of a formed organization. I've actually been a political activist for about a decade. I got started back in my 20s. I'm in my 30s now. This is kind of my first time really getting involved in issues-based activism about firearms and gun rights, though. Although I've been involved in conservative politics and, candidate type of stuff, different things like that, this is my first time that I've really gotten into this specific issue. And as Jason mentioned earlier, the reason that I found it was really important just to kind of take it on and just kind of step out there and say I'm willing and able to do this is because, back in March, I know we all probably watched this happen, but you had the March for Our Lives people, the March for Our Lives kids and parents and teachers, and all of these people who literally, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people across the country took to the streets in a march, in a rally, pretty much begging the government to take away the gun rights of their fellow citizens. Like how frightening is that?
Yeah, it is.
And it was all because of what individual had done. Granted, there's several cases of what that individual had done, but it was in response to the Parkland shooting. So here we have one very evil person who should never have been able to buy a firearm legally based on his record. That was a complete government failure. But here, because of what that one person had done, we've got hundreds of thousands of people out there saying, take away the gun rights of my fellow citizens. To me, it was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I just made the decision to step up and step out and start this organization.
Yeah. I think a couple of things happened with all of that. One, they acted without knowing what really happened, right? So I see folks talking about how Sheriff Israel was fired. That's a good thing. Should have been fired immediately, in my opinion. But here in Florida and in other places around the country, people started acting and taking away people's Second Amendment rights without even knowing what happened in this incident that spawned this whole thing. And I think the other thing that happened is those guys got out there and rallied and made a lot of noise. Of course, that was amplified by the media, and people on our side were mostly, their voices were muted. I'm not saying people didn't try to say something. There are lots of people that were trying to say things and get out there and do things, but mostly our voices were muted, and they've been muted for a long time, because if you go back in the timeline and look at what happened in 2013 when we had the Fire Armageddon, and people got it was the internet, the social media and all that got everyone rallied and got people together. And since then, they've been trying to do something about that to tamp it down. So I think it's that, on top of the fact that people are kind of really apathetic now when it comes to the Second Amendment.
Well, I think they've been apathetic for a long time. But the other thing too is that I think that, gun owners are at a point where they just want to be left alone. We're not asking. I mean, you have some people who are more activists like myself and Jason, who would love to have the opportunity to put forth these ideas about repealing laws, things like that. But right now, we just want to be left alone. Stop infringing on our rights. We're not trying to infringe on anybody else's rights. We want ours to be stopped. We want them to stop infringing on ours. So when you have people out there who are asking to take away the rights of others, those who aren't asking for anything, which is us, are going to be very silent. And I think that's what we've seen largely in a lot of this type of stuff. It's why we've been really quiet.
Okay. All right. Trey, Walter, if you guys want to comment anything here, just let me know.
Okay. Yeah. Keep going. I'll jump in.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was responding to questions to me.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. I can see like a comment storm going on over here
we're
and all that kind of stuff.
I'm not sure where you're seeing the comments, but I do know we have a media guy.
Right.
Who does like video
computer.
stuff?
Normally, I have a separate computer that I respond to comments and then I talk.
I see. Okay. I'm like, I don't know where you're seeing this, but I know that our video guy who runs our YouTube channel is checking it out right now.
Yeah, I do see someone with your name in the chat as well. So that's
not me or Jason. That's Bill. He's our video guy, and he is absolutely phenomenal. But he likes to stay in the background. So.
Okay, understood. Everyone has a part to play.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, everyone has a part to play in this. Okay, so you guys got together, you started this thing. Do you guys have something coming up that you want everyone out there to know about?
Yeah, we actually have a couple things here. One has been going on right now. We're running a GoFundMe for to put up billboards around the state, pro Second Amendment billboards. Okay. We're going to try to start with 3, in the northern Colorado area to see where it goes from there. That's one. The other one is January 19th, we're going to be joining the Women's March in Denver, and we're going to be marching with them, but in support of a woman's right to defend herself with a firearm.
Okay.
Yes.
So here's the question that jumps out to me. Like I said, if anyone else here on the panel has a question.
No, that's a great idea. Because what we see a lot of times is we see women come in and they go, my husband's always done all the shooting or taught me how to shoot a gun, or he's loaded a gun and let me shoot it. I'm here now because I want to take my concealed weapons class. Well, my class is geared to teach the woman or a new shooter, whatever you want to say, everything between identifying the gun, the caliber, the ammo, everything, how to load it, how to handle it, everything. I go through the whole gambit, because what you get a lot of times is their husband takes them out and, honey, here, shoot this 44 Magnum. And she shoots it, and it's too much, and she's scared, and he's laughing, and she doesn't want to do anymore because he's embarrassed her. We're the other way around. I don't want to embarrass you. I want to teach you and educate you. And I've converted a lot of anti-gunners over to shooters just by taking the time to teach them how to shoot a little bit, and making them feel comfortable. And then they become avid shooters, which is pretty funny. My friend I went to school with, she hated guns. But she lived in a bad neighborhood and said, I needed a gun to protect myself. After 6 months of working with her, she's an avid shooter. She shoots like every weekend like clockwork. She loves it. Yeah. That's how we win.
Yeah.
Exactly what you did. Going to the rallies, helping women out, educating people.
So
people are just scared.
How does the women's rally feel about that? I know there's different women's rallies going on. And I know one of you guys where was the place that canceled the women's rally because it was, quote, too white?
San Diego.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Wait, hold on.
San Jose.
San Jose. Okay.
So right there, that shows you who's running the show.
Right.
It's not about women's rights. It's not about. It's about how it looks.
Right. Okay. So I'm assuming it's different people running the show for the women's rally in Colorado. How do they feel about you guys being pro Second Amendment? Or is it different people?
I'm not sure that they know that we're going to be there, to be honest with you. It's interesting. You mentioned a minute ago about women and their husbands. So one thing about me that's kind of different and interesting when it comes to the firearms arena or the gun rights arena is I'm actually a single mom. I don't have a husband here that lives with me to like teach me how to shoot or defend me. If somebody comes breaking in my door at night, he can't just say, "Stay in bed, honey. I'll take care of this." So for me, and I've got 3 daughters. My oldest one is actually 19. She's turned into a gun rights activist herself, which has been phenomenal to watch her do that. But yeah, so with the Women's March, we actually, so one thing about me is I never ask permission, right? Because this is free speech. It's our right. It's our right to assemble, whether it's with the Women's March, because they're all inclusive. I mean, they even changed the Women's March to include an X instead of the A in their name, and they did that to be more inclusive, is what they said. Well, why would that exclude me? To me, it makes no sense, because I support the right for a woman to bear firearms, or for a right to self-defense. That, to me, if they want to tell us that we can't be there, they're not very inclusive.
Okay.
So we actually just haven't told them we're doing this. So I know they have caught wind of it because an article came out recently sort of about it. But we're just planning on showing up. You know, I bet we'll have probably somewhere, you know, at least 100 people that will show up with us, probably more. Some of our rallies, we have hundreds and hundreds of people that show up. Some of them are a little bit smaller. I think the smallest one we've ever done was like 100. So what we're planning on doing is just joining up as a group, and then as our group joining onto that march. That way we have like a large presence. We have gun rights, women's rights shirts that people will be wearing. Jason's wife and daughter have literally pussy hats with Hello Kitty.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah. So the hat with the AK Kitty on it. Let's see.
Nice. So this women's rally, only the women are going to be able to march in there, or?
No, I mean, they're all inclusive, right? So,
right.
You know, and every women's march they've had in the past has included men, and it's just whoever wants to come out and support women's rights. Well, in my opinion, the right to self-defense, the Second Amendment, is a woman's right. So I don't understand why they would have any issue with us being there. Doesn't mean that they won't. We do know that part of the message, the narrative being pushed with this Denver march, is actually an anti-gun message, which is the reason we chose to do this.
Absolutely. I think it's a good idea. And by the way, you know, you were talking about, I think you said something about, like, if someone breaks in the middle of the night, you have no husband there. I've always hoped that if someone breaks into my house in the middle of the night, my wife would save me. You know what I mean? You know, so I think that's the thing, right? We should all be able to save each other, whether you're on your own, whether you've got someone, they better be able to save you. You know, we all need to be able to save ourselves. I might be really, really knocked out at that moment if someone wanted to rely on me to save them. You know, that's what I believe in. You always have to be able to save yourself. So yeah, absolutely. And I think that even, you know, it is an issue for women out there. You know, when women lose this right, they're trying to, and I think in a lot of ways they've won. They're trying to get women to come over to their side in terms of getting rid of guns.
Well, you got to say
it doesn't make sense.
It's all that save the children thing. Save the children. It's like, what good? How can you save how can you save the kids if you can't protect the kids? I mean,
well, how are we saving the kids if you can abort the kids?
Well, hello. That's when I see this women's rights thing and life marches and all that. It's like, well, what about all this government funded?
Yeah. So I mean, I think if you have the right to do that, you have the right to also defend yourself.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You do. And the nice thing about the women's march is that's a big thing. That's a lot of the you know, the argument from Moms Demand Action and is about the children. And going to these kind of things where gun owners wouldn't normally be seen or heard from, it gives us the chance to engage and talk to some of these people. And, you know, we have successfully changed hearts and minds every single time when we get to talk to someone one-on-one. Because when you come at them with, you know, come and take it, or, you know, just shall not be infringed, what don't you understand? That it doesn't get anywhere with them. But when you say, look, I have children too. I want my children to be safe. How do we talk about ways that we can keep our children safe without infringing on people's rights, and start a conversation with them, and you actually get somewhere?
Yeah. Don't we have right now in the news, I think they found this girl, like Jamie Kloss.
Yeah.
That this guy broke into the house, killed the parents, kidnapped the girl, right? How long ago was that?
3 months.
3 months, yeah. Man. You know, the safety thing is for everyone. The safety thing is for everyone. When your children are old enough to understand this, you need to start, introducing them to these things. I'm not saying, like, you know, Trey's got DJ. I'm not saying that. How old's DJ? Like 4 or 5?
He's 5. He's been shooting since he was 3.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean,
But I'm an instructor, and I'm with him. It's not like I just go, hey, go out there and shoot, son. I've been hunting since I was 6, and I had my own gun, and I hunted by myself. And I used to shoot and bring home rabbits or whatever, and that's what we ate.
Those were the days when men were men and boys were men, and
pretty much.
everybody was. And what I mean by that is people were free.
Yeah.
People were free to do what they're doing. Okay, so that's
when I was a kid, I'd grab my .22, walk around the neighborhood, shooting rabbits and squirrels and the orange groves, and bringing them home and cleaning them, and et cetera.
Yeah.
Well, like for me, I mean, my daughters, my oldest is 19, almost 20. She's in college. And then I've got a 11-year-old and a 7-year-old, first and fifth grade. So, I've got these little girls who see me do what I do. I'm very public in what I do. It's no secret whatsoever. And, so here I am with these daughters who are watching me out here in the public eye, fighting for the gun rights of all Americans, including them. I think that's a pretty powerful message. So, when do you introduce your kids to the fact that evil exists in the world? If you have kids in school right now, they understand what a shooter lockdown drill is because they do them. So having these conversations is a big part of society today, and introducing them to the idea that evil exists in this world, and this is why mom's out here fighting for our right to self-defense. It's kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. We can't. I think there's things that happen, and you think, man, what evil does exist, and if this came to me, if we had to all deal with this, what would happen to my kids, especially if I got removed from the picture, right? So I think that everyone has to play a part in this thing. We've got to make our kids grow up strong and self-reliant and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna make a better world. It's gonna make a better world no matter what. Okay, so one of the things, by the way, Walter, I muted you. I know you don't know where the mute button is, so I hit the mute button. Yeah. I can unmute you, Walter. That way you can control your mute button whenever you're ready. Okay, here's a question I wanted to ask. I just want to go back to this real quick, and then we can get into the other stuff here. So you guys said you wanted to get up billboards. I'm just curious, what does it cost to get up a billboard in Colorado?
It costs anywhere from, it depends on where you want to put them, right? And so we, of course, want to put them where they're going to be have the most effect, which is not going to be speaking to the choir. Rally for Our Rights is all about being inclusive and continuing to speak to the choir, but also pushing out and reaching out to the people in the middle. So that's the idea with the billboards. So we want to put them in places where maybe the people who are, what do they see? They see the March for Our Lives, like take away the guns, that's the answer. Well, we want to show that we're an answer too. We have other solutions. Mm-hmm. We're putting them, our goal is to put them more, not necessarily in liberal areas, because then you aren't changing those minds either, right? So you want to put them kind of somewhere in the middle. They range anywhere from putting them out like in rural Colorado from like $700 to like right in Denver off of the interstate to $5,000 for a month. And then everything in between. It's pretty neat. We have a lot of options. If people are interested in donating to our billboard effort, we're going to be getting these rolling out the middle of the month here. But actually, just go to rallyforourrights.com. Right there on our website, in our big banner, there's one of our billboards is right there. It's a women's rights one, actually.
Okay, cool. All right. So
I would recommend a video camera focusing on your board so you could catch these assholes when they climb up there and start laugh. It happens in places.
I actually said something, Leslie.
And then it doesn't make the news until the butthead gets up there and paints I'm pink or whatever the hell they do, and then it's all funny and amusing to the press. Yeah,
that's a good point, Walter.
Maybe put an electric fence around it so they get electrified when they fall off. I mean, it's like.
Well, part of that is we want to put these up in areas where they be highly visible, like hopefully one right off of Interstate I-25 here in Colorado would be a great spot, high visibility, and people would be seen doing that. It wouldn't be there's no dead time of day there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and traffic is so miserable on I-25. Pretty much half the time, everyone's just sitting there anyways, waiting to go. So plenty of time to read, take pictures, share it on Snapchat.
You think the sign companies will resist?
They actually, so I've talked to several of them, and some of them are actually very supportive of what we're doing.
Okay.
So we definitely haven't run into a whole lot of that. Colorado is pretty libertarian when it comes to firearms here. Definitely blue on social issues. There's some things like that. You know, it's very diverse. But when it comes to firearms, Democrats have actually, they'll stand up and support their firearm rights here.
Okay, very good. All right. I don't know if there's any other things. I mean, I think we can obviously keep talking about this, but what I wanted to do was get to some things since it's Friday that we haven't talked about. I know last night, if anyone missed this, last night we had Microtech on here. You know, we had Corey from Microtech, and we were talking knives and stuff like that. So we didn't have an opportunity to get real deep into the Second Amendment and guns and things like that. So, which, you know, we need to do every now and then. But so we're going to try to like hit all of those things today if we can. I just shared this in the chat everywhere so people can see it. This is from The Hill. I'm going to read this headline. Supreme Court agrees to hear illegal immigrants' appeal of gun charge.
Okay, first thing. There should be no Supreme Court saying for somebody who is here illegally.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. The Supreme
How
Court
do you
doesn't
get
even
the
want
right
to hear
to
gun stuff.
Yeah.
What's going on? They don't want to hear gun stuff, but they want to hear this. That's interesting.
Yeah, right. Well, they don't want to. They don't make any things on the Second Amendment, but they're going to go off for some illegal. No.
Yeah. So here, let me just go through this article real quick. Everyone could read this. The Supreme Court on Friday agreed to hear an appeal from an immigrant in the country illegally who was convicted of unlawfully possessing a gun. Hamid Mohammed Ahmed Ali.
Oh, okay.
Rehaif.
Oh, you pegged that one, Hank.
A citizen of the United States Arab Emirate has asked the justices to decide if the government must prove both that he knowingly possessed a firearm and ammunition, and he knew he was unlawfully in the United States. Rahif had been a student at the Florida Institute of Technology, but was academically dismissed in January 2015. As a result, his immigration status in the U.S. was canceled in February that year. So that's interesting. This is interesting. These guys are taking this up. What do you all think about this?
How is that even a Supreme Court worthy case?
Yeah.
Why are they even dealing with something like this?
I don't know. It's interesting.
I would think, I need a little bit more information. So was he here? He's here illegally, right? Is that because he overstayed a visa is what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, to me, and actually this is kind of an interesting conversation that I have with people all the time that want to talk about how the Second Amendment is not, you know, I have a lot of libertarian friends who are not, they're sort of like not sure about the Constitution. They're like, the Constitution is just a piece of paper. Well, you know what? The Constitution has allowed us a whole lot of rights to do the things that we, like myself and Jason, have done since we started Rally for Our Rights. But at the same time, they argue that the right to keep and bear arms is an inalienable right, right? Mm-hmm. So this is our God-given right to self-defense. So this is where I believe that this whole conversation, whether or not it's the Supreme Court's job to be the deciders of God, but who are the deciders? So I mean, I think this comes down to who has a right to keep and bear arms in the United States.
Yeah, I think, you know, I think that there are two completely different things going on there, because yes, I think everyone does have the right to defend themselves. I believe in that. I think with this case with this guy is that he set off some alarms. There were things going on, and the cops decided to check in on him. And when they checked in on him, he had this gun. All this kind of stuff went down. And so that's why we're here having the conversation. I'm just wondering how this all got floated to the front. You know, what's going on. I'm with you. If I'm right, just tell me if I'm wrong or right here, because you're saying that people should have the right to defend themselves. And if this was someone defending themselves, whether they were illegal, legal, in America, outside of America, that's one thing versus something else, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes down to, I mean, I'm a constitutionalist, and I have this conversation. I love kind of like intellectual, deep conversations about the Constitution, because many of the things that we've done we've had protection to do what we do. We rally hundreds of armed people in the streets in Boulder, Colorado without a permit. The only reason we can do that is because we have the Constitution. So I'm a firm believer in the Constitution, but also a firm believer in our God-given rights, and one of those is the right to keep and bear arms, even if you're not using it for self-defense. So to me, I think that this whole conversation can go two different ways. But is this person constitutionally protected simply because he's not an American citizen? That's where you start to get into this whole conversation about the Bill of Rights, which gets pretty intellectual and long.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first thing is here illegally.
Hold on 1 second. Walter, definitely answer. I got to go answer the door. I don't think Lola's here.
Okay.
So I'm going to mute this. You guys take over for a sec. Go.
Well, I just don't see how it gets to the Supreme Court when he's here illegally. Just deport him. It's done.
Yeah, I agree.
Done. Finished. Over.
Yeah, I agree with that. He is illegally.
Right. That's the first thing.
I see your point. You know, you should have the right to defend yourself, but not as an illegal alien. I mean, I'm not saying you can't defend yourself. What I'm saying is he should just be deported, and that should be the end.
That would have fixed the whole
gun
problem.
charge is irrelevant. What's relevant is he's not supposed to be here.
Right.
But, you know, okay, we'll use this as a prime example. Student visa, student here from Brazil. Should he have the right to defend himself? Absolutely.
As long as he's legally here.
Apply for a permit because he is here legally with his student visa. I mean, what do you guys think on that?
Well, so I mean, to say that because he's here illegally means he doesn't have the right to own a firearm, then you're saying that that's no longer a God-given right, that that's a constitutional right, which is fine. I believe it's a God-given right. So maybe the answer here should be, or the question should really be, why should the charge be a firearms-related charge? Or should it simply be that he's here illegally and he needs deported? Right. Because those are two different charges and they're two different solutions.
No, I do agree with you. I think he should have the right to self-defense. Anybody should have the right to self-defense at all. No questions asked.
But he broke the law by being here illegally.
I should have the right to carry a blade or a bat or whatever I need to do to protect myself.
Yeah.
I mean,
but also,
I think with the complication of that, I think the gun part, I think he should have the right to defend himself, but I also think that he's here illegally. So he should be deported. So, I agree with Walter on that.
All right, so here's
the guy should have the right to protect himself.
Here's what happens.
One person can and one person can't. I do agree with you on that.
What happens if the Supreme Court says, yeah, okay, he does? So he's still here illegally.
Hey, he's still here illegally.
Right.
That's
so
okay. The illegal immigration is the primary charge.
Yeah, no, I believe this guy was a student. And then because he got arrested or whatever, his status got his status was changed. Yeah.
Yes. So I think there's more to this.
Yeah. The whole question here is: did he do something wrong? Did he threaten did he threaten a student? What was it he did wrong? And if that changed his status, then okay, his status was changed. But if his status was changed because he felt, for whatever reason, he needed to defend himself, for sure, that's something that these guys need to figure out. Here's what I'm curious about. I'm sure this is not the only situation that's happening here. Why did this one float up to the top? Why did this specific guy from Saudi Arabia, why is he so important and this thing floated up to the top? I'm not saying it shouldn't be, but I'm just curious about
who's financing it.
Yeah,
because lawyers aren't cheap.
Connections. He's got the right connections.
Yeah, lawyers, as we all know, are not cheap. So
because we can't get the Supreme Court to look at Second Amendment issues right now, right? We can't get them to look at it.
Come across the board.
Yeah,
somebody's here on a work visa, and they asked me if they can get a concealed weapons permit. Of course, I told them what the legalities were. No, you cannot. Now they can purchase a gun and have a gun. They can't conceal carry. Now they can leave it in their vehicle in the state of Florida. But I do agree with you, Leslie. Why should a student here not have the right to defend themselves? They're in our country legally, and they should have the if they can get a driver's license, why can't they get a concealed weapons permit? I do agree with you on that. Why can't that person defend themselves?
Yeah, Razor JB says his status changed when he left school 30 days, something like that. So I guess, something like that happened and changed his status. Yeah, I'm just curious about it. Like, why did this particular one float up? Why is the Supreme Court looking at it? I don't know whether or not it's a good or bad thing. If it's favorable for the Second Amendment, okay, fine. I'm just wondering exactly what's going on there. So I thought it would be something interesting.
Well, I think it could be favorable, to be honest with you, because one of the things that I think is so important right now is to pull in the other side and make them defend the Second Amendment. And, this is talking strictly, total political ploy here. But the fact that we're talking about an illegal immigrant who's suddenly doesn't have the right to keep and bear arms. Well, all of a sudden you could end up with people left, the ACLU popping up and saying, well, hey, actually he does. Well, then let's have this whole conversation. Let's open up the whole door to this conversation right here.
Yeah.
So politics wise, it could actually be a good thing.
Yeah.
As to why, I would just say connections.
Yeah. So Richard Hughes keeps screaming Gorn. Richard, here's my message to you. Shut it. Shut it. We could show some guns, but come on, we're having a good conversation. Richard, don't be Richard, by the way, is just a troublemaker. So I stopped. I had to go to the door to get a gun. So I'll show that gun.
Does he need a gun in frame?
Yeah, I guess Richard needs a gun somewhere in the thing.
There we go.
Otherwise, he doesn't know what to do with himself. So yeah. All right. So let's see. I don't know if there's any other issues of the day out there you guys would like to talk about. Yes, Florida did get rid of Ron DeSantis, the sheriff from Broward County.
No,
you guys have any opinions? I'm sorry. Why did I say Ron DeSantis? Yeah, the governor, Ron DeSantis, got rid of Sheriff Israel from Broward County.
And he's crying foul, and like the voter lady down there. That this judge says her constitutional rights were violated.
Yeah.
She broke the law by destroying ballots. I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Her ass should be sitting in a courtroom being arraigned.
Yeah, there should be some federal investigations going on with her. Let's,
arraignment. That's what should be going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any comment on this? You guys following Florida politics that closely?
Well, we've been following Parkland since the beginning. I think he should have been fired a long time ago. The whole Parkland incident could have been prevented if the local police had done their job, if the FBI had done their job, if the school had done their job. So all those failures led up to Parkland. It wasn't a gun that caused that. It was systematic failures that allowed this kid to slip through the cracks and kill people.
Yeah, I agree with that. Leslie?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that, we've really been pushing to the forefront. One thing that we talk about when we talk to people who are on the left or on the other side or the opposition from us is we always go back to this idea that we all agree on one thing. That the core of all this we agree on. These tragedies are horrible and none of us want them to happen, but our solutions are different. And it's interesting to kind of start that conversation on what you agree on and then break it apart, because you can really start to then talk about the failures in Florida. And I'll be really, really harsh with these people sometimes. And in my opinion, the government in Florida has blood on their hands.
Oh, yeah, they do. Heck yeah, they do.
and when you're talking to the opposition, but if you could start at that place where you agree, which we do agree, you can really have great conversations. And we did a counter protest back in the summer to the March on the NRA. They had these at the Capitol here. And there's about 50 of us that went down there to the Capitol and kind of counter protested them. And some of the kids, the organizers, came down and talked to us, and we had a great conversation with them, actually. And when we started breaking down those pieces, the failures of the government, they were like light bulb went on. It was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
So to me, it's
when all this stuff happens. Okay, when things don't get checked, people don't do their jobs. Those people don't get fired. There's no there's no penalty. They stay right in their jobs, and everybody's happy, and it's the gun's fault.
Well, that's why it's nice to see Sheriff Israel getting relieved of command.
He's a bootlicker, is what he is. He's a bootlicker. You see the pictures of him with Hillary Clinton and this one and that one. He's a bootlicker.
There were things that he did after. There were things he did before this he should have definitely been fired for. There's things he did afterwards that he should have been fired for. So I think justly he was fired. I wish that Rick Scott would have just done that instead of pushing gun control on us. To Leslie's point, I think that the thing that we can all agree on is that our children are at risk. Our children are at risk in schools, and there's things that we could do to prevent that. There's many things that we could do to prevent that, and we should do those things instead of going, hey, this tool, we need to take these tools out of the hands of people, because if we agree that our children are at risk, there's lots of things in the world that could do damage to them.
Or what I think is even worse is the fact that we're going to sit here and we're going to say, we look at all these laws that failed. Look at all these laws that have failed these kids in these tragic shootings, or not just kids, but adults in different places, like what happened in Thousand Oaks. These laws have failed. So why is the answer to create more laws?
Or
why
to redo this?
Why on earth would that be the answer?
Or like with the assault weapons ban stuff, bring that back. It's like, this magazine is so dangerous. Oh my God, look at that magazine. It's just gonna kill and maim and everything else. It's like, come on. It didn't do it. It didn't do it in 1994. It's not gonna do it now. So it's crazy.
Yeah. By the way, I'm just pulling out some guns because people like Richard need to see guns and stuff like that. So,
all right, Richard, here's a gun.
I've got a bunch of little girls at my house right now.
Yeah, we understand, Leslie. Okay, there you go. NAA. Go ahead, show it again. Show it again.
Oh, what do you got there, Hank?
Magnum.
Okay, there you go.
Here, hold on, Richard. Hold on. Just in case you
boy,
okay. Get a bigger one. There you go. There we go. Much better.
I'm muzzling you, duck.
Yep.
Duck.
There you go.
Okay, Walter's throwing up some guns for anyone who wants to see some guns. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, and just for everybody, this is real gun news because fresh from Safety Harbor Firearms is the compact entry stock for the Streetbog SP981, by the way.
Yeah.
I need to give you this thing. It's so nice.
And the tail hook version.
Yes, absolutely. We're gonna have a good conversation from Walter here on that in a second, and also Walter and I are gonna get together tomorrow and put up some videos. So this is my Century Arms clone. What is this? What is this thing, like a G43 or something?
G3.
Is it 308 or the G3?
308.
That's a G3.
Yeah. With retractable stock.
This is a semi-auto HK33.
Oh,
semi-auto. This is a Century Arms one too. So.
Really 80s one too, isn't it?
Lots of showing off going on here, Leslie.
I'm bringing that tomorrow too, Hank.
Hey, I like it. Trust me. Like the male gun bunnies. I watched that segment earlier. I was like,
you're
all about it.
Okay,
you're such a sexist. Come on.
I wish there was more. I want like a whole male gun bunny Facebook page.
Exactly. Okay, let's not miss this opportunity, Leslie. Tell us what you want in your male gun bunny.
What's a male gun bunny?
Does he need to have a mohawk?
A beard? big
muscle.
Six pack.
I think men with firearms are attractive, so I'm pretty easy to please.
We should
I think there's actually a whole market for that.
Okay, Leslie, are you seriously? Don't say this because there's a lot of dudes out there that will start. You already said you're single. Yeah, you already said you're single. If you just say that all a dude needs to have is a gun, you're gonna start a snowstorm of new male gun buddies coming in your direction. So you're saying all it takes is the guns, huh? Just the dude and a gun.
Be attractive, or I don't. Honestly, it would be kind of fun. There was a thread recently about the gun bunny women, and people were like, this is the wrong way to spread the message about gun rights and all this stuff. And you know what I did? I hit up Google and I found all the male gun bunny pictures, which actually aren't very many. And I started just posting them on this whole
Wait, hold on a second. Are there actually male gun bunnies?
Yeah, if you look up, hot man with firearms or hot man with guns.
You know what's funny? I've never looked.
I can't believe that.
Don't lie, Hank. Don't lie.
You know where you find a lot of them is Pinterest.
Pinterest, really? Okay.
They have like their male gun bunny Pinterest board.
That's where you will see Walter. That's where Walter. What's your name on Pinterest? Where you do the male gun bunny thing?
I know nothing.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know. Who do you think is a sexy gun guy out there? Anyone?
Well, all the guys I work with, right?
Oh, okay. All right. Good answer.
Well, you think you're equal opportunity.
I have a hard time just naming somebody, but there's definitely, doing what I do, you definitely get to know some people, and they're pretty great. So they're sexy and they're smart and they're good with firearms.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, outside of firearms, what do guys have to have in your? We've got you here. You're a woman, obviously. Outside of the gun thing, what do guys need to have to be, interesting to you? For us as guys, we're real simple. So, I just want to know from the women's point of view, what do you think?
For me, I think one of the things that I find most attractive in a man is being able to have an intellectual conversation about things beyond football, or sports, but be able to say, or even just beyond just I love shooting my gun, let's talk about why you care about your rights. To me, that's just a very, very sexy, attractive thing. Is the understanding of freedom and liberty in this country, and then how that can tie into other things such as firearms or gun rights. But yeah, I mean, that's a huge one for me. I have a really hard time dating anybody that can't have that conversation with me, because I'm so passionate about it.
Oh, okay. Is there a dating thing for gun guys? Sorry, Walter. I just want to ask.
That's all right. No,
just one last question, and then we'll get to you. Write it down, Walter. Write it down. Is there a dating thing for gun people? Because, and I'm asking this as a serious question. I have friends that are single, and the one thing that they tell me, it is really hard to have relationships being a gun person, someone that believes in the Second Amendment, because we're almost taboo. We're under attack in America, where people look at us as being bad people because we believe in the Second Amendment and we have guns, right? So,
I don't know that there is. I mean, there probably is, but it's probably not very popular. At one time, a girlfriend of mine, we were going to start a Facebook singles group called Armed and Available. We were busy fighting for our and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
I like it.
Great idea.
Yeah. But
yeah. I hope you copyrighted that.
And we can get women to join it too. The men wouldn't scare them off, but there are a lot of single women out there who support firearms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Please, women out there that support the firearms and you're single, don't let the guys out there also be single and lonely. I know, listen, it's tough to be, it's not a good thing to be lonely in this world.
Get together and clean each other's guns. Come on.
Okay. Yes.
Or something like that.
Yeah. I know this is going to sound sexist. I'm sure there's some women that would just get the dude just to clean the guns for them. There's some people that don't like cleaning guns. Yeah. Okay, cool. Walter, what is the question that you wanted?
No, it wasn't a question. It was just kind of back on the whole thing about, I think a lot of people lack historical education on why there's a Second Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
Or they don't have any family members that came from a country, or they don't have a family member or family members that came from a family or from a country where they took the guns away and pointed guns at them. So I think they need to learn about why we have the Second Amendment and the origins of that, and not from a video game or a school. The schools don't teach that stuff anymore. Because it's too scary, I guess. And
it's not just a man macho related thing. I mean, I'm a guy, so, and I'm kind of like, I'm kind of macho. I can't help it. I was born like this. I was born with this deep, sexy voice and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, the thing is, it's not just a male related thing. Look at Nigeria with the Boko Haram going after the girls in these villages and stuff. And one of the ways to deal with that is to have those women be able to defend themselves, right? And this is not just for Nigeria. It's all over the world. It's in America as well. So,
yeah.
This is why people need to understand that you need to be able to defend yourself. Look, we were talking about, I forgot what we were talking about. We were talking about the sheriff, right? There's no actual legal requirement for law enforcement to save you.
Mm-hmm. And Hank, I've been saying there's no one is, I kind of segue off of that when I talk about gun rights, because, while the police aren't obligated for your safety whatsoever, you're the only person that's responsible for protecting your rights as well. Mm-hmm. And so as an individual, and nobody's going to do that for you, just like the cops aren't going to be responsible for your safety.
Yeah. And the thing is, like in the case of what's happening in a lot of these places, in Parkland, for example, and other places, the police there are not responsible to save your kids. And this is a really interesting question, because if no one is responsible for that, then who the hell is?
Yeah, if they're not going to come running in when all the hell breaks loose, then
you are. You're
and if you show up with a gun and start to run in, they'll shoot you.
Well, this is why we need to address these things. We need to fix it. We need to deal with these things in multiple ways. If police are not responsible, then let people go to schools and guard their children. Let people voluntarily do that. Let the teachers that are there that want to do that have the ability to do it.
Yeah.
People used to do that. They used to protect their kids and sit at school. Yeah, I saw some pictures back in the 50s when they were having problems with riding and stuff. People would sit in front of the school with shotguns and stuff and keep people from going into school where their kids were at. And no one said anything.
Yeah.
I think
go ahead.
Go ahead, Hank.
No, I was going to say, I think force helps, right? If you have the ability to apply force, it helps you when in lots of different cases. So what's up?
Richard Hughes is bringing up the thing about a good guy getting shot by the cops. Are you being sarcastic? Because they just had the good guy that happened to be black that was shot by the cops, right?
That's exactly the fact. He was a security guard, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that, of course, I think there's been some incidents with black guys who were good guys and they got shot by the cops.
Yeah.
But other good guys have been shot by the cops. If you take a CCW course, they usually tell you, be careful in these situations.
Yeah.
And remember that you're not a police officer.
Yeah.
So because you have a CCW, if you're not in danger, you don't need to rush in if you see cops going to do something, because yes, this is a situation that does happen. It has happened. So I'm not sure what Richard is talking about, but Richard is crazy. Just trying to say, if you don't already know that. Yeah.
I think it's time to touch the ammo again.
Yeah. So
Hank, the biggest challenge is, how do you take that message to people that aren't in your circles and talk to people about school safety, and these points? How do you get them outside of the echo chambers is probably the biggest challenge in our world.
I don't know. That's a good question. Who has an answer?
I don't know. I mean,
I think we've been trying to do it. Go ahead.
That's what we've been doing with Rally for Our Rights. I mean, one of the biggest goals that we have is, and it's one of my favorite things to do actually, is to talk to people, is to try to reach people who are in the middle. Because when you look at the tragedies that are creating these problems we're having with gun rights and laws and whatnot today, anyways, at this point in time, is, as a parent, and I'm sure any other parents can understand this, with kids in school, these are things that we worry about. We are concerned that this could happen in our child's school. I empathize and I understand why parents want answers and solutions. What needs to happen is that our side needs to be part of that conversation. Gun owners have had this, and gun rights groups and the whole 9 yards, they have had this attitude for so long that is, you don't join that conversation. We have our conversation, they have theirs.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is we are not part of that conversation. We can't offer the solution. And we've been doing things with Rally for Our Rights that we have been told by everybody else, you just don't do. You know what? I'm done not doing what I've been told I shouldn't do.
So what are those things? Can you list some of those things? Can you list some of those things for us that people will tell that you're doing, that people say, hey, gun guys don't do this?
Sure. I mean, even the Women's March is a good example. I mean, when a gun rights group get together and say, let's go to Women's March, we have to become part of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that happened here, a town just outside of Boulder, after they passed their assault weapons ban, Longmont, they actually had the town of Longmont, which is like 120,000 people, and 10 churches in the town put together a gun violence discussion. And it was at this big, City of Longmont Museum and this great big auditorium. And it was going to be this discussion about gun violence. And they wanted to invite people from all walks of life and all parts of the conversation. Now, those are things that normally people in the gun community would avoid like the plague.
Okay.
Who wants to go in there and talk to these gun grabbers about why we should have our rights and why they should quit infringing on them? Well, we decided to do the exact opposite. We decided this was something that you signed up for online. They had 120 spaces. Mm-hmm. We decided to try to get our people out to this event. You know what ended up happening? We ended up being about 70%.
Yes.
We're about 70% of the people who showed up there. And our group is very young. We have a lot of young people in our group and a lot of women. The only people out of those 120 who did not have gray hair were us. No offense to people with gray hair. But
none taken.
The rest of them were these gun grabbing baby boomers. That's who showed up to be part of this conversation. Now, had we not joined in that conversation, what would have come out of it?
Yeah, you missed the opportunity. You give up the opportunity. Go ahead, Walter. What did you want to say?
I was just say a lot of old hippies.
Yeah.
I was at that phrase, gun violence. The gun doesn't do any violence.
Yeah.
So when you say the gun is the problem, it's not it's easy to say the gun's a problem. You don't want to call little Johnny the problem or little Susie the problem.
Right. And I think that's what, okay. So there we go. Trey's throwing up his propaganda badge. I think that's what Leslie's saying. So if they have this conversation about gun violence and we just sit that out because we don't like them using the word gun violence, and we don't go there and become part of the conversation and say, you know what, guys, the whole premise of this, the whole gun violence part of this, you guys are missing out on something. A gun is a tool. It's an inanimate object until a human being picks it up, makes it dangerous, and then destroys other human beings or property or whatever with it, right? Someone has to actually, instead of, I'm not saying that you're doing this, Walter, but I'm saying instead of hearing that and going, oh, they said gun violence, I'm not talking to them. That's what Leslie is saying. I'm not
just saying about that the terminology is that's one of their keywords. It's like,
it is. And actually at the very end of this whole event, they actually opened up, they did open mic, which was really cool for us, right?
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I think you went up and spoke. I mean, I even did. But there was a gentleman that went up and spoke from our side, and he went up there, and you know what he said, and I love this so much, is he said, you guys call this a gun violence problem. What you're not understanding is that this is a violence problem. Yep. It's not a gun violence problem. It's a violence problem. It's happening with weapons of all kinds. It's happening with fists. There is a society problem surrounding violence. And you're attaching it to guns because it's an agenda. And it was really powerful the way he put it, that this isn't a gun violence problem. This is a violence problem. Right. And I mean, people's minds, they woke up that night. I'll be honest with you. We changed some minds.
Yeah, go ahead, Walter.
Yeah, right. It's not a gun problem. It's a violence problem, and it's an over medication problem, and it's a pity problem. Oh, poor so and so. We can't do anything to help him, but let's just blame it on the gun because it doesn't have any. it doesn't vote, or it doesn't move out of the house or anything like that. So
yeah, absolutely.
That goes back to them using this gun violence, which I totally agree that gun violence is just a made up term, but they're using the gun violence term to perpetuate control. It's about control, about gun control. So the ultimate behind it is about control.
Yeah,
and they're using the fact that there's a violence problem to attach it to a firearm.
Yeah, I think they want to stigmatize the guns, the word gun, however you want to put it. If you want to say gun, weapons, whatever.
When you look at the facts, more people are killed with blunt objects and hammers and stuff like that. But hammers are not very exciting, are they?
No, and it's a lot harder to demagogue about hammers and guns.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Trey. I know that you
kill 3 times more people than guns do. Also.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
It's not what it is. To get back to it, it's never the gun. It's the human being. A human being will use whatever they can use against you.
But that's not the narrative that they're pushing. And Jamie's right. If we're not out there defending ourselves, who's standing in the? Okay, if 70% of that meeting, they hadn't been there for 70% of the meeting, 100% of that meeting would have been negative people, and maybe other people were there not sure, and now they go, oh, none of the gun people showed up, so I don't like guns either.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Is there were Longmont City Council members at that meeting, and they were paying attention. And so
we actually kind of mad we were there.
My friend, she's a super liberal. She's very liberal, but she likes to shoot. And so she's more libertarian, I guess. She's more middle of the road, kind of like you, Leslie. And she tells me when she brings up that conversation around her liberal college friends, they attack her. But she's like, she defends guns and gun owners. She says, I've been around a lot of gun guys. They're super nice. They help me out. They take time to teach me how to shoot. They take time to talk to me. And what do you guys do? All you do is sit around and bash me and create problems and bash all these people, but they're really nice people and they're good people.
And these are the folks that are supposed to be open. open-minded and accept other people's way of life and such.
You know,
Right?
that's crap.
Right. That's that bunch, right? Fly the flags and you do all
We
that
got to
stuff.
step up and play ball.
Yeah,
we gotta change their minds, or at least not change their minds, but let them understand that, you know, we're okay. You got 300 million people shooting every weekend in the United States, and one guy does violence.
Well,
I mean,
that's how.
that's like holding up cars. You know, you got millions of people driving every weekend, but one guy runs over some guy. Well, let's just get rid of cars because they're
we
terrible.
should get rid of doctors. Look how many doctors kill people every
Doctors
day.
are pretty bad.
Yeah. So let's get rid of those
lawyers,
guys.
politicians. That's who we get rid of first.
You got to fight for the ranges, fight for your gun rights.
Yeah,
they're making these laws. They do have forums when they do these laws. Who's showing up? 2 gun guys. I mean, come on, the city council members, they want to be voted in again too. We show up in force, and it could be the same 70 people every time. They're not going to know the difference. We need to step up to the plate.
yeah, and I think everyone out there can get involved in a different way. Everyone has a role to play in this, okay? Not everyone has to be a YouTuber. Not everyone has to start an organization, you know, like Leslie and Jason. You know, you guys don't have to do. Everyone has to play a part. Sometimes we need people to just show up, sit in the seats, voice your opinion, all that kind of stuff. I think that it's necessary for everyone to play a part in this. Vote, call the politicians. Yeah, you know, Leslie, that was a good one. Hit us with another one while we've got time here.
Other ways to reach out and become part of the solution.
Yes.
You'll become part of the answer. The solution is a little bit more of a hard word. I would say answer, because that's what people want, is the answer. They want an answer to these problems. You know, another one here in Colorado, we have Faster Colorado, which is about arming teachers. And what Faster does, and we work closely with Faster because they're just a fantastic organization. And what they do is they Colorado, first of all, we already have a Colorado revised statutes here on the books that allows teachers to conceal carry on school grounds with permission of the school board. The reason we have that is we have so many rural areas that if you have a tragedy, if you have one of these horrible situations happen, as you guys know, it's going to take 20, 30 minutes for police to even arrive. So we already have had this in the books for a very long time. We're starting to tap into this now, that we're starting to say, how can we utilize this to actually get teachers armed in some of these schools where this is more likely to happen? And so what Faster does is it works with teachers and school boards who want to implement this type of a program. And it does, I mean, I'm talking such high-end, such intense tactical training. It's an entire program that they put teachers through for free. If they can't afford it, if the school can't afford it, money's no object. You can come through this program for free. I think it's 3 days. And when you graduate from this class, you have to actually pass a tactical exam that is even more strict than what law enforcement has to pass. But it also includes a whole day of like trauma training, psychological training. So imagine you're a teacher and you're in one of these situations where you have an active shooter that's there, and now you've learned deep concealment techniques, you've learned tactical techniques, you've learned psychological techniques. How can you talk this student out of doing it? And then you've learned trauma, so you can actually save lives. Even if you're in that situation as a teacher and you realize that you don't have what it takes to actually take a shot at a student that you may have known and loved since kindergarten, you at least have the ability to save lives. And so Faster is something that we've actually done. And this is, again, going back to the idea that we're not just speaking to the choir. We actually rented a big room at the library and we did a Faster presentation. And people from the community, and there were actually some Moms Demand Action people who came and sat through this, and some school board members came and sat through it, teachers came and sat through it, and then just parents came and sat and learned through this 2-hour presentation about what this entails. You know, before you just stop and you say, no, more guns is not the answer, let's at least stop and listen. Let's listen to what they're saying and what the suggestion, like, is this something that I could get behind? By the end of this, pretty much everyone there I mean, the Moms Demand Action person was like, her only question was like, well, do you feel that this could be that teachers will shoot people because of their race? What?
I remember that question. She said, do you think teachers will shoot more black children or would shoot disproportionately more black students?
I have an answer for that. I have an answer for that. If the school or the school board zone, whatever it is, if the school has teachers that will shoot the kids because they're black or Latino or whatever, why the hell do they have those teachers working there in the first place? Yeah, that's a separate issue. If you know, I mean, come on now.
But yeah, that's one of those.
For you, Leslie.
Go ahead.
I've done something similar in my area, but not as elaborate. I did free concealed weapons classes for teachers or any school board member. And then we do combat medic courses where we bring in 82nd Airborne medic and he teaches the classes. I've done free medic classes too for teacher or school board members. I mean, I've had some turnout, but it sounds like you had a lot better turnout. How did you generate that to get more people to turn out? Because I really have put it out there, but not a lot of people have bitten on it as much as I thought they would.
Well, I mean, so we utilize a few different, just a few different ways as far as marketing goes. I own an internet marketing business, so marketing is my life anyways. So that's part of the reason Rally for Our Rights has actually grown so fast is because we can implement all of this stuff, things that you would pay somebody thousands upon thousands of dollars to do for you. I just do for free because it's what I do for a living. But some of it doesn't even require money. I mean, I'll say some of the first events we've done, we didn't even spend a penny on. We use Facebook events. So we always create a Facebook event, public, and then what we do. I mean, if you want to ever create a Facebook event for one of your classes, one of your whatever your cause it happens to be, one of the things I always tell people is to create conversation in that event. So you don't want to just create an event and ignore it. You want to actually on a daily basis have people posting in there. You see, the stories out of Parkland, post those into the event. So you literally just make your event seem really, really exciting. And everybody's super interested. And as soon as somebody's interested, everybody's interested. Welcome to society. We do a lot of that kind of stuff. We also printed out flyers. We had flyers hanging up all over town. Every billboard or every bulletin board there was available, we had a flyer on. We do email marketing to get the word out that way. I do a lot of radio. I'm well connected with a lot of our conservative talk radio hosts, and I can pretty much just get on the radio whenever I want. So I utilize all of that. We have a pretty strong marketing kind of idea that we do. Jason and I have done a lot of radio together. But yeah, so then that's kind of where it is. But the big thing is you have to get out of your choir. You have to quit talking to the choir. You have to figure out how to get outside your box and reach people who are out there who might be interested in this kind of stuff.
Okay, very good. Brian Quick, just real quick, I'm going to get this question in. Brian Quick says, does Leslie know the 4 Ps of marketing? Here, I'll tell you the 4 Ps of marketing. Punch, punch, pause, punch. Is that
4 Ps of marketing?
Dodge.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know if that was, I just made up the 4 Ps of marketing. Punch, punch, pause, punch again.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there probably are some specific, there's probably a whole thing about that. I don't know. When it comes to me and marketing and I teach some classes and stuff, one of my big mottos is always that it used to be that you had to pay to play. And these days you have to play to play. You have to be part of the conversation.
Yes.
You cannot pay somebody to do that conversation for you. If you want to be successful at marketing, you have to play. You should be part of it, period. So play.
Yeah.
One of the P's.
Play. There we go.
Yeah, those are the P's. Walter, there was something you wanted to bring up. I know that Trey rudely cut you off.
No, I don't.
Sorry, Walter.
I'm just teasing. Right. I'm just teasing, Trey. You got to jump in there. Did you forget? You forgot about it already.
I don't know what was I don't know what I was talking about. Yeah. No.
Okay. Was it food related?
No, I already ate.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. I think that was a good one that you were saying, Leslie.
Price, place, promotion, product.
Oh, there we go. Brian Quick hit us with it. Price, place, promotion, product. Okay, that sounds like, yeah. Okay, Good. Was there another thing? Were there other things that could be done? I think the training aspect of it is good for people to think about that, tactics and all that kind of stuff. Huh?
What's that, Leslie?
What do you think? Because Jason and I have worked on this stuff together.
Oh,
To
yeah.
me, it's what I've done for years. So I have a hard time kind of pinpointing how it works. But I think some people like Jason and I just met in the beginning of Rally for Our Rights, and I kind of pulled him on board, and he's been awesome, but he's definitely learned a lot. So
Yeah. I remember the first Boulder rally when we were trying to get people out, and there was the Colorado Republican Conference was going on up at CU, which is not too far from my house. And so what my daughter and I did was we tried to hit people coming in the door and bring attention to what was going on in Boulder, ask them if they wanted to attend this rally. And then on the way out, we had so many flyers left over. We just plastered every car, I think in like 4 or 5 parking lots there. And it was, I don't care if you like guns or not, you're getting a flyer. And so, a lot of that, has to do with, just getting out of the house. I mean, you won't reach everyone sitting behind your computer, but it really is a huge tool. Like Leslie does amazing marketing. Like she said, she does it for a living. And then a lot of it has to do with just encouraging people to get some boots on the ground and get out and volunteer some of their time towards getting other gun owners active.
Yeah, I think this is a hearts and mind war. We're joking around. I can see that people are making up their own P's, or maybe they're correct. I can see people saying like proper planning prevents poor posture. Pay, play, please, plunder, all kinds of things like that. Let's see. Crackbot said placement, power, precision, pairs. But I think at the end of the day, what we're doing here, this is a hearts and mind. We need people to realize that this is very important. And if we just sit back, we're not going to realize how horrible this is until it's way, way too late.
Yeah, and one other thing that we do too, to try to reach the public, because that should always be the goal, is to reach the public, is when we do our rallies, which we've done, I don't know, 12 now in 10 months. I don't even know, we've done so many, and they're very well attended. And it's always keep the partisan politics at home, keep your Trump flags at home. This is about the Second Amendment. Let's keep it focused. Right. But we do them on the streets. We do street demonstrations. We don't rent a park or an amphitheater or go to the Capitol or have amplifying equipment. We literally just say we're going to get out on the streets. We're going to be lining the streets with signs and letting people who drive by read those signs and realize there is a controversy happening in this country right now. And you don't get that same exposure when you do it in the park. You get that when you do it on the streets. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's a big one too. And I don't get permits. I've gone toe to toe with the city before over permits. I ended up having to get an attorney that threatened to sue them in federal court come Monday if they even interfered with us, because we don't need a permit. This is our constitutionally protected right to demonstrate on the streets. So we literally rally using the First Amendment. We rally people for their Second Amendments out into the streets, and don't be afraid to bring your guns. We've had some issues about no long guns, things like this. To me, it's I always tell people this is a family friendly event. Please remember to be safe and responsible. Think through what kind of firearms you choose to use. But you do not have to carry. We don't hold open carry events, but open carry is allowed. That encourages other people to join too.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
Big piece of it.
Yeah. Very good. Okay. So Trey, what do you think about all these things? I know you had some points that you wanted to insert here. Do you want to?
The open carry or the?
No, I think though, like we're coming towards the end here in general, and what I think, because I want to kind of like link up what you were talking about earlier. So far as how it is with you being a range and what ranges are going up against, and then organizations like Rally for Our Rights in Colorado. I think there's a way that we can all get together, network, and help each other out, right? Because we're all a part of this puzzle, and we should be working together. Help this guy over here when this thing is going on, and then that guy will help you, and these people will help you. What do you think about that?
There is the problem. We don't help each other out. We've talked about this many times before. We're not against each other. We're just not for each other. It's really weird. We're in like pockets of helpful gun owners. I guess does that make any sense?
Right. So I mean, and why is that we're not? Why is it that we're not networking?
Owners, you know, things like that.
Gun owners like
I
to
had
be
to
rugged
fight
individuals.
for my range, and I had people in other areas go, "I'm sorry, I just don't want to get involved. It's not my fight." And I go, "You're a gun owner. If I don't win, you don't get to shoot. You get to sit at home and clean your already clean gun." And he goes, "Well, I don't feel like I want to get involved. All I wanted was an email written to the county. That's it." And they didn't want to do it. And it's just like, I'm like, you know, it is kind of interesting. Quite a few didn't do it. We'll put it that way. And all I want was an email. So it is interesting dealing with people on this sometimes.
So why is that, and what can we do about that? Because we should. I don't think everyone could work together. I think that's like, you know, we don't even need to discuss that. Everyone can't work together. But how come we're not working together as much as maybe? I don't know if we, you know, we did in the past. Walter, you're the old guy here.
We're disorganized.
Did people ever used to work together?
Yeah,
or
we
were
should
gun
get the
guys?
printing press out. Put the pen.
Well, like Jason is saying, like gun guys just.
Jason got muted.
Yeah, no, I think he muted himself. But is it just that gun guys are like solo kind of people?
Yeah, they're just a bunch of individuals. You know, they're like, you know, I can take care of myself. You know, I have my guns. If they come for them, I have my guns. You know, kind of thing. And I just don't think that's the right mindset. I think gun owners do need to reach out to each other and start supporting and talking to each other and talking to non-gun owners and staying informed of the issues and staying out ahead of them. And, you know, I would always encourage every gun owner, whether, you know, because that's how I got started with this, is I saw what was going on. And as an individual, just decided to start trying to pull people together. It's not easy. It's definitely not. There's a lot of work involved, but I think we can do it.
Yeah. I think we need to find a way to leave as much as we can egos and things like that behind, and realize that everyone's a part of this puzzle. And if we really let one thing go down the drain, that's kind of like, that will become a weak link, and we won't have that thing anymore. And then there'll be other things that'll fall by the wayside. What do you think about that, Leslie?
Yeah, you know, so I think one of the things that we can do too, and we deal with that, we've dealt with that here in our state since we've even gotten started. And it's funny because now we're starting to see a lot of softening. We've got a lot of, you know, every gun shop in the state pretty much knows who we are now. A lot of the big gun organizations here have started to really develop a respect for us. And a lot of it has to be that you don't stop and you don't care what they say about you. You keep moving forward and you close your ears and you open your eyes and you just go. And I'm really good at doing that. But the other thing is too, is that any cause-based issue like we have right now with gun rights is that people tend to just be online. People need to step off the internet and get out in person. And that's one of the most beautiful things that I think I've seen happen since Rally for Our Rights has started, is that we actually get hundreds of these people who are like-minded, who will argue online. We get them out together in the streets protesting for their rights, and they make friends. I mean, I've had some parties at my house since this has all started. Jason knows. It's getting fun. But we're creating we have to create communities offline now. We have to start creating those communities in person.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
People will stop fighting.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. We actually need to communicate with each other, see each other, maybe shooting on the range, you know, meeting up at the gun store, or having, you know, getting out there and protesting, like you said, in the streets. We need to do it old school, where you actually have to see a guy and look him in the eye and shake his hand and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, you do. And without that personal touch, you know, it's pretty hard. People don't. When you're online, there's that anonymity of everyone, and there's no personal touch to it. But when you actually bring people out together, you start to make some waves.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's true. Because when I was being attacked, they attacked me all online. You're terrible. You're this and that. I said, all right, let's have a meeting of everybody that has a problem with me in the range. And half of them didn't show up, and the other half did. Now I'm standing there. I'm like, all right, let's start talking. It was a lot different of a conversation than bashing me and I was such a bastard and all the other stuff. It was a lot different. Now there was still one guy in there. He just was relentless.
Are these your neighbors?
And also, so go figure that. But
yeah. Are they the neighbors of the range?
What's that?
Are they the neighbors to the range?
No, one guy was 2.5 miles away.
So what's his
Most
problem?
of the neighbors shoot, and they actually come over and shoot at my place. I have a very good relationship with everybody.
I think there's some people that just have a problem with the range being there, right? They don't really know anything about it. They're not. It's
Nope.
just they have some kind of philosophical
Well,
problem.
On the range to see the range and actually walk through and show them everything.
Mhm.
That guy, he lives 2.5 miles away, the opposite direction, said bullets are whizzing over his house. I said, well, that's amazing.
Mhm.
But
How do you-
in the country, there's always bullets whizzing over your house. Sorry, it's not from me. I can tell you that. Because every one of his neighbors shot around him.
Hank, how about your neighbor that says that stuff was flying over his house too? Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people always say that. Okay. Yeah.
Well,
If it was really flying over his house, it wouldn't miss his house. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Joshua Manning has invited me to come out to Southwest Georgia. He says a few hours north of me. It will be your new home away from home. Okay, thanks. Thanks for that invitation. We'll get that worked out at some point. Okay, listen. I think it's 9 o'clock already. We should probably already start wrapping it up and all that. Let me see. I'm going to go through everyone and give everyone a chance here to kind of get your plugs in for stuff. Trey, what do you want folks out there to know about before we get out of here?
Aries Firearms Training, Leesburg, Florida, 352-321-8102. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. You can email me also at ariesfirearmstraining@yahoo.com. I have some stuff coming up in the pipeline in March. I'll talk more about that in detail later on. But guys, come out, shoot, have some fun. You know, we long distance range. We like to shoot, friendly environment, family friendly environment. We like you bring out your children and try to help you out. Hit me up anytime. I love to see you guys out there. Richard's been out there. So you guys need to step up to the plate.
Yeah.
Give me a call if you have any questions.
Absolutely. Very cool. Okay, let's see. Let's go to Jason.
Yeah, all I can say is I want people to come check us out at rallyforourrights.com. I want gun owners to get out from behind the keyboard, get active, get involved, get engaged. And, you know, we have 100 million gun owners. If only, you know, 3 million of them got up and spoke out, we'd have a completely different landscape right now as far as the Second Amendment is concerned. So check us out on Rally for Our Rights. Join us. We've had people start to communicate with us from other states now. So the bigger we get, the better. And we can start affecting change around here and preserve our rights.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, Leslie, thanks for coming on. Thanks to both of you guys for coming on. Actually, thanks to everyone for coming on. But Leslie, yeah, everyone else. Yeah. So Leslie, what do you want the folks out there to know, and what can they do to support you guys?
Yeah, so I guess I'll emphasize again the billboard campaign that we're doing. If you're interested in donating towards that, you can we have all the information on rallyforourrights.com. There's a big billboard right there on the homepage. You can just click through. There's a GoFundMe, donate right to us, either way. But you know, again, I just want to emphasize that right now is we can't be quiet right now. I don't care who you are, left, right, middle, libertarian, gay, straight. I really don't care. Right now is the time that gun owners.
I guess that doesn't come across.
Not just gun owners, but those who support the right to keep and bear arms, even if you don't own guns. But right now is the time to speak up and not be afraid of the people who are around you claiming that you're a horrible person. The more that we stand up and we show that we're not, that we're your family and your friends and your coworkers and your neighbors, the more people will realize that we're just normal, average people. So stand up, don't be afraid. Find out about rallyforourrights.com. We Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whole 9 yards. There's a page on there called Get Connected. We have a private Facebook group. If you're in Colorado, please definitely get connected. If you're in other states, also get connected, because we've got 7 other states right now we're working on moving to. So yeah,
awesome.
And I thank you for the time to come on and have this great conversation tonight.
Oh, you guys are very welcome. Okay, so last but not least, Walter J. Keller.
Hey,
there you go.
the quietest one here all night.
Yes, yeah. Walter, what's going on with you? I know you've got the new part. You can absolutely show that off here in whatever time.
Yep.
Run
new
people
stock,
down through
for
it.
those folks that are familiar with the Street Bog from Grand Power.
Looks good.
Got a new stock for it. Let me close it all the way. Boom. That's the regular stock. For those folks that have a pistol and don't want to do the SBR thing, we have a tail hook version too. Yep. this stuff's all going to be at the SHOT Show, and then after SHOT Show, we'll start making things and selling things. So it's only a week and a half or so till SHOT. So
yeah, and then Walter and I are going to make a detailed video on this that we're going to
we'll do some more stuff. So it'll be out with Hank and and we'll shoot. You get to see it work.
Yeah, and show me my knife one more again.
Oh, okay.
I know I'll see it tomorrow, but
is this like a conjugal visit?
Yeah, let me just see my knife with my own eyes.
Look at there, nice, love it.
Microtech, he's joining the club. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
We did some wheeling. We did some wheeling and dealing and horse trading today. Can you still trade horses?
I hope so. So unless someone made it illegal.
Depends on how old it is.
Yeah.
Well, the old ones go to the glue factory. But that's terrible.
No, it's not.
My dad used to ride when he was a kid in Rockford, Illinois. They had a glue factory, and they used to jump and climb into the corral and ride the horses.
Yeah, I think we have horse-free glue nowadays, Walter.
Okay, well,
yeah,
we'll send them to the French, and they can eat them. Okay, anyways.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. Listen, I want to thank Rally for Our Rights. Am I getting it right, guys? Rally for Our Rights. Yes, I want to thank Rally.
Y'all are on Instagram like that, correct?
Yeah.
Or Facebook.
Yep.
Yes.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Absolutely. I want to encourage everyone, go look for Rally for Our Rights on Instagram, Facebook, rallyforourrights.com. Support these guys, whether you're in Colorado, outside of Colorado. Get in touch with them. If you want them to open up a chapter, I think Leslie said you're in 6 or 7 other places, states. All right. Oh, somebody's ringing the doorbell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the signal that it's time to go. All right, listen, we are out of here. Have a great, safe weekend, everyone. Thanks, everyone in the chat. We'll see you guys next week. We are out of here. Peace.